Okay, I discovered today why making money from the market is difficult. I'm in the business of buying and selling a product, a securities product, and it's very tricky because what it can do is when the price ends up in the position where I think is going to be at a point where it is being supported, oftentimes what it's going to do is it's going to be it's possible it's on its way further down, and so I could enter and I could lose money in many of the instances where it's very similar to something called picking the bottom, right? Bottom picking. And so what happens in many of the instances, if I pick the bottom, it could be we don't know I don't know where the bottom is, and it could just keep continuing until I deplete my resources. And so uh, that particular product that I'm selling in the market is essentially the setup that I'm looking for. It has to be very carefully executed. And if I hold it too long and it's moving against me, I am liable to lose a significant portion of my capital. So I need to be careful with that, right? So for instance, so what I'm looking for the product to describe the product. What the product is doing is that it moves down. Okay, it moves down to the support area, where I think is the support area, and support area is supposed to support the price. And when it supports the price, it has to for me to get a profit. It has to bounce off and move upwards from that support area. But what happens in many of the instances is that there is still a momentum to the downside. And when that momentum to the downside is still alive and in a ferocious manner, I could lose significantly I realize, before I, uh, before the market, before before my thesis matches with the market, because ultimately the market decides whether my thesis is correct or not. And so it's a very tricky situation. And I've discovered this as I started to weigh in on the losses that I've incurred in order to define where that is. And so some of these, such as the UJ that I've experienced today, can just keep going down. Okay. And then I may just lose and lose and lose and lose. And I'm telling myself, man, how could I be so stupid? And how could I do that? And why am I not exiting when it's going down? And why am I scaling in when it's still going against me? Right. And so then I jump onto something which is inversely correlated, like the EU, right? So EU, where the US dollar is on the other end of it. So that means that if the US dollar is declining, then euro is going up. Whereas UJ is US dollars going down, that means that the JPY is going up. And so it's inversely sort of correlated. It seems to be all related to like that tariff kind of thing. It's dragging down the US dollar, right? So so the business that I'm in, I have to be really good at it, because there are cases where if I'm not careful, I can just blink and my account could be just completely annihilated. That's what happens when I have a size that is significant, and then the movement is significant. That process, multiplicative process could undermine my capital. And so the product that I'm buying and selling is not an easy product to be buying and selling. That is why most people cannot make money from the market. Okay, and so that's why certain people, when they come on like the YouTube like interviews, they say, well, I can tell you exactly what I'm doing, but there are certain aspects of it that you have to be aware of in order to properly execute that trading strategy. Okay, so there could be some psychological thing that I need to do, because I need to wait for a particular thing to occur before I enter. Right? If I don't, it could be all over. Right? and it just compounds one after another and after another, right? Like I would, so what could happen is, okay, so I go long, and then I'm wrong, and I go short, and it goes the other way, and it flips vice versa, like that. And by the time I know it, I made like 5 or 6 trades, and each one of those are wrong. And then I look at my capital, and it's like, oh my God, how did I get into that situation? That's what happens. That's the psychological, the thing that happens when things don't go the first time around the right way. And so the execution of my product is not easy. It's not for everybody. It is not for everybody. And I'm describing it. I'm having some issues with it. And so I know that it's not easy, and it won't be easy. Okay, it will not be easy because there's I have to become very, very good at buying and selling that product. Okay, because I'm in business for myself, and I'm in the business of buying and selling securities. Okay. Anyway, that's what's going on. And so far I've spent the last Asian market all like losing. Okay, now I'm in the 32 minutes into the European market, and I'm like barely trying to break even, right? And so hopefully, hopefully I'll start out the week well, and then things will start to really pan out for me, right? Hopefully this is the week that really turns things around, where now that I finally get it, right? I finally get it. I finally get what people are talking about, like being in the business of yourself, and then executing that business plan, and then results now follow, because I'm running a business. Okay, when I'm running a business, I'm in the business of making money. Okay, of course I don't know how to spend money, except maybe take the money and go to the buffet and spend some money on the buffet, but I don't know anything else on how to spend the money, right? So I'll just give it to my kids and my ex-wife. Okay, that's it. Okay, I love making money. I love it. I don't know how to spend money. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. And hopefully this week and the next following week will be the de facto point of moving in that right direction. Okay, so trading is not easy. Buying and selling the products that I'm selling is not easy either, right? I'm sure if somebody goes on Amazon, people who are selling things, there's like, when I do a search on, like, see, it gets a little warm here because the AC turned off because nobody's here, right? So I clicked on fans, but it's like a USB fans. I don't want USB fans. My USB ports are all plugged up. So I'm looking for electrical plug-in. There's like bunches of them. And all of them are like at least 20 bucks. And each one of them, quite a few of them are 20 bucks. So selling and making one of those out of 100 people who are selling these fans, okay? Somebody's got to, so for one customer, somebody's going to buy just one fan, not all of it, right? That's how it works. Anyway, so that seems to be very similar to what trading is, right? Trading is essentially in the market of buying and selling, right? In the benefit, in the ultimate goal, objective of making money from the transaction, right? So I floundered the Asian market starting this week. The first part of it, the Asian market, I floundered a little bit. Now I'm finally getting back a little bit. Hopefully things will be turning around, and maybe this is the week that I've finally turned a corner and things around. But you just never know, because one day my psychology would be there, and the next day I probably have lost my intensity, and something, my mind could be in some sort of la la land where I'm talking about what the U.S. Politics is going on, which drags it away. And then I could probably go on to Facebook, and Facebook, where there's been something about some other thing that could be like pulling my resources, attention away from what I need to do, right? So I'm currently in a trade, and I'm hoping that this trade is going to put me above par here, okay? And so I'm just waiting for it, but it's fluctuating. It's slightly down a little bit. We'll see, okay? Anyway, so the product that I'm selling, buying and selling, is not an easy product to sell and buy, okay? It's not. It's a very, very difficult thing, even though I'm selling just one product right now. I'm primarily focused on one product, and I'm focusing on this one product to buy and sell, okay? I'm looking at it. I'm trying to figure out the ins and outs of it, because I want to make sure this product that I'm selling is going to be, I have the skill sets to buy and sell this at the highest and the premium level, that will be in and out and be profitable each time around. Okay, but it's not easy. I have to look at it. I have to. So when I see it, I'm not entering into a trade where it's actually the momentum is still voraciously in a downtrend. When that happens, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be on the wrong side of the situation, and so I need to exit the trade. That's one, right? So it's like a hot potato when I'm anyway. So that's the current situation. Um, it's getting a little warm in here, uh, but that's the strategy. That's the plan. Okay, that's it. That's it. I'm selling one product at a time. Once I become really good at selling one product, then I can switch to something else and sell another product at the same time. At the same time, another product. Some people at S&B Capital, they have like bag of tricks. Apparently, they have like 30 or 40 products that they buy and sell. Okay, it's 30 or 40. They call it a bag of tricks. Each of those are a product. They are in the business of making profits with using those products that they have in their bag of tricks. Okay, they buy and sell that, and they're very, very profitable. Okay, so hopefully I'll get to that point. Right, right.